Bounce back, throws it out in the flat to Joel Thomas. He scores. The Vandals win. They caught him by surprise.
Chris Tormey's 98 Vandals made the Big West learn the hard way. When it comes to Idaho football, you gotta watch these guys. Watch the Idaho Vandals under the open skies of Pullman's Martin Stadium against Washington State, North Texas, Utah State, and Boise State. 99 Vandal football.
The Vandals are the Big West champions. How about that?
You gotta watch these guys. Call 1-8888-U-IDAHO for season tickets. You've won.
It's the Battle of the Palouse as the Idaho Vandals take on the Washington State Cougars. The Vandals trying to steal their first win against the Cougars in 15 tries. The Washington State Cougars have lost 10 in a row, and they're trying to get a hold of a win.
If I'm putting pressure on them, so be it. Accept the pressure, take it, and let's get on with it. Let's get this thing turned around.
Are only 8 miles apart. The fans come from eastern Washington, all over Idaho and throughout the inland Northwest to Martin Stadium on the campus of Washington State University. It's the Washington State Cougars and the Idaho Vandals. A home game for the Vandals. Hello, everyone. I'm Bud Namick, along with former Cougar quarterback Clete Casper. We'll have all the action today as the Cougs take on the Vandals in a spirited contest. A rivalry, Clete, that Washington State has owned. The Cougars have won 14 straight over the Vandals.
Well, from the Cougar perspective, this has been a game that's been viewed as kind of a breather. And now it's really starting to heat up, especially this afternoon when Idaho brings in a much improved football team.
No breathers at all for Washington State. You can't look at anything that way when you've lost 10 consecutive football games like the Cougars have. The Vandals have done a great job on run defense. They'll stack the line of scrimmage, make it very difficult for anybody to run the football against them. So Washington State counters with throwing the football. Makes that much more important. Number 82, Nyan Taylor, who had a great game against the Vandals a year ago. 8 catches, 254 yards, one shy of a school record, 3 touchdowns. But, Clete, it hasn't been that great for Nyan so far this year.
Well, he started off the season in a bit of a slump. 2 fumbles against Utah, a drop pass here and there against Stanford. He just hasn't been the game breaker that he is known to be. Last year against Idaho, had one of the greatest receptions ever in Washington State football history. He's got to get off early and get back into the groove because he is the key for Washington State's offense right now.
Nyan Taylor actually missed Monday when the Cougars don't practice. They just gather as a team, and then was an entrant about midway through practice on Tuesday. Had to go back down to California. A good friend of Nyan's growing up was killed in a car accident. He had to go home to attend the funeral after the Washington State game at Stanford. Mike Price, head coach of the Cougars in his 11th year, 56 and 59 overall, 102, 103. One game under 500 in 19 years as a head coach. Chris Tormey is in his 5th year rebuilding this Idaho program. He's done a wonderful job. He's 27 and 20. Not really a rebuild job, if you will, maybe a retool. Graduate of Idaho in 1978. He's 0-1 against the Cougs as a head coach and was 0-3 at Idaho as a player against Washington State. There are a couple of coaches on the Idaho staff who certainly know Washington State well. Phil Early is the assistant head coach, quarterbacks coach, and offensive coordinator. He was a Cougar assistant. Ben Davis to boot it away for the Vandals. Cougars won the toss and have elected to get the football first. Davis out of Coeur d'Alene by Rick's Collins. Billy Newman and Leifert Hackett deep. Cougs had a bit of a scare early this week when Leifert Hackett had some back spasms and missed Wednesday and Thursday's practice. And we'll talk about how that may affect the game plan a bit. Davis drives it. Hackett about 4 yards deep is going to set it down. So the Cougars will have it on their own 20. Steve Birnbaum, the starter at quarterback, 6'5", 225-pound senior out of Chino Hills, California, completing 65% of his passes so far for 294 yards. Couple of touchdowns, 1 interception. An interception last week against Stanford that really was the fault of the receiver, Clete. Marcus Williams ran the wrong route.
Well, Steve needs to be effective today and needs some help from his wide receiver core. They've been a little shaky coming out here, and again, it's a team game. Offense got to perform a lot better than they have in these first 2 outings in 1999.
Last year, 14-33, 299 yards against the Vandals, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions a year ago. Dion Burnett makes his first start as a Cougar, gets the handout, busts it outside for the first down, and Dion Burnett out to the 44-yard line. And most importantly, he held on to the football.
Very nice job. Cougars come out with 4 wide receivers spreading out this very active linebacking floor, and you could see that Nofowinga had stunted himself right out of the play, but a good first play, good first effort by the young running back as he squirted through the hole and picked up the first down.
Good shot of the Vandals trying to strip the football, but he was able to hang on with one hand. Cougars go to the 5 wide receiver set on first down from their own 45. Birnbaum looks things over. Here come the Vandals. Quick jump, wide open. Farwan Zubetti juggled it, caught it, first down into Vandal territory.
Farwan Zubetti, pass from Steve Birnbaum.
Let's take a look at the Cougar offense.
Smith, number 24, on the tackle for Idaho.
Ryan Tujay, the left tackle, gonna have to keep his composure. Lost it against Stanford a bit. Lincoln Waldenschulz in the middle. The Raymonds on the right side of the line. The skill position players for Washington State. Leiford Hackett again leading the Cougars with 14 receptions, but missed a couple of days of practice. We'll see how often they can get him the football. First and 10, Cougs on the Vandal 41. Gain of 14 on that last play. Ryan Taylor is the motion man. Birnbaum toss too short. Right at the feet of Leiford Hackett. Idaho with a veteran defense. An interesting defensive front for the Vandals. Mao Tosi and Will Beck, the big strong guys up the middle. James Dureau, former linebacker, playing on the outside, along with Ryan Knowles. They're both a bit undersized, but very quick. The linebackers, Chris Nofowinga, they call him Nofo, junior out of Mount Tahoma High School in Tacoma. Bryson Gardner, outstanding strong safety, 10 career interceptions. Second and 10 for the Cougars on the Vandal 41. Out of the shotgun is Birnbaum. And the quick shot out, Ryan Taylor, his first catch. He'll go for about 9 yards. Cleat, with the struggles of the Cougar offense hanging on to the football, how important is it to have success on this opening drive?
Well, it's just paramount in the success of the confidence, number one, in Steve Birnbaum, and also generally just to pick this football team up. They're on the canvas. They haven't won in a long, long time, and they need to set the pace early. And so far, Steve Birnbaum and the offense have been looking pretty sharp. It looks like the aggressiveness of the Idaho Vandal defense has been picked up so far by Birnbaum, especially out of that shotgun formation. I think it's something we'll see a lot of today. Just give Steve that little bit of extra time to check out where those linebackers are coming from.
Idaho needs to call a timeout. Cougs with a third and about a half yard, and Idaho decides to change personnel. First quarter, we're scoreless. You're watching Cougar football on Fox Sports Net Northwest. Washington State with its full complement of rally squad members, despite the fact they are the actual visiting team in today's game. This is quite an atmosphere. There are a lot of Vandal fans here. They're very loud.
Yeah, a lot of contrast. Every time Washington State does something well, there's a smattering of boos, and so it's really kind of an exciting environment. Great day for football. A little bit of breeze, but not really going to affect the outcome too much today.
All right, Coach Casper, third and about a half yard. Before the timeout, Jeremy Thielbar, the big bruiser out of Sandpoint, was in the backfield for Washington State. Is that the play call?
Yeah, I think that what you want to do, again, gain some confidence, being able to pick up a couple first downs, but the running game is the best way to set up the Cougar passing game offense.
Vandals certainly will remember ball on the Cougar 3 a year ago. They went to the play action. The Vandals thought the Cougars were going to run dive, and next thing you know, Steve Birnbaum with a nice ball fake throws it up to Ryan Taylor, 97 yards and a Cougar record touchdown later.
Two tight ends, Mizzen on the one side, Scott on the other. I think they just blast away.
Here's Thielbar, first down easily. Good job by the Cougar offensive line, Cleet. They did a nice job clearing out.
Well, that's that right side of the football field for the Cougar offensive line that you expect should be a little bit better than they have been so far. The Raymond twins have been a little banged up, but there they showed that 6'6", 310 can move a pile most of the time.
First down at the Vandal 28 now. Burnett back in the backfield. 4 wide receiver, no tight end set for Washington State. Here comes the Idaho blitz. Birnbaum dumps it to Burnett, who has pretty good hands, but couldn't corral that one. And actually, the officials did not blow the whistle, so they were saying that was a lateral, not a pass.
Well, there's a one for the learning curve for young Burnett. See the blitz up the middle, Nobuenga's right down in the feet, and that ball is thrown sideways, rules the official, and you can see those guys trying to strip that ball out. Big Matt Jasek trying to rip it.
He has 37 career tackles for loss. Give credit for another one there. Cougs go to the 5 wide out set on 2nd and 14. Vandals show blitz again. Hackett the motion man. Here they come. Birnbaum to the hot receiver Hackett, and then hang on to the football. That pass incomplete, Cleat, but what did the Cougar coaches in the booth see on that one for use later?
Well, they see man-to-man coverage. They see a whole lot of pressure coming right in the middle, and you can tell that what Coach Mills, the defensive coordinator for Idaho, wants to do is get right in the face of Birnbaum. Steve, if there's a negative to him, he doesn't move well side to side when there's pressure. He tends to plant the foot and try to get rid of it. There he threw a pretty dangerous pass. Cougars should go to shotgun against that type of pressure because you get the ball, you're able to see things and deliver that ball without having to drop back, get your feet mixed up.
Thielbar will be in the backfield as a blocking back, I'm sure. 3rd and 14. Play fake. Birnbaum. Caught by Marcus Williams. Going to be very close. Depends on the spot whether he got the first down or not.
Well, the marker is at the 18-yard line, and they're marking this football at the 17, and that'll be a Cougar first down. Nice job by the offensive line, little play action. This time, Marcus Williams goes down, throttles down in that hole, makes a nice catch, a good route for the big kid, and that's a big ego booster for him, too, because he was victimized last week with that poor route that caused the interception for the touchdown. That gives him some confidence.
Burnett on first down keeps his balance and picks up about 3 yards on a play that was going nowhere. Cougars again this week playing without Milt Wynn. Big old cast on a broken finger. The reason why it's such a big injury, it's that index finger, which has a lot to do with catching the football.
Well, unfortunately, Milton will not be able to participate again today. Coach Levenseller was talking about, boy, he just really needs the game time experience. He's a great athlete, but here you see Burnett getting off to a pretty good start so far, his first start as a Cougar, and here's the shotgun. I think this will be a very effective formation for the Cougars.
With Burnett in the backfield, keep an eye. He'll go on a pattern. He's not a great blocker yet. The incomplete pass, it was right in the hands of Marcus Williams. That time he tried to run before he caught it.
Heard the footsteps, no doubt about it. I think it was Hughes and Smith coming up from behind to get a little pop on him. Might have been Bradshaw there on that corner who came up, and you just heard that footsteps, and Mike Price, knowing that this is a very important 3rd down situation, wants to get in that end zone with 6 points, doesn't want 3 points. He's going to call timeout and reassess things here.
Cougs are 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions. We'll see if they can keep that alive when we come back. Cougar football, Fox Sports Net Northwest.
Interesting test match going on. Cougars bring their offensive football team on the field, then Idaho comes out with a defensive group. Paul Menke is in there at a wide receiver position. Let's see if it's a little razzle-dazzle. Paul's been very effective on that underneath option route.
11th play of the drive coming up. Nobody in the backfield. Oh, going to be a 3rd and even longer now. Ryan Tujay. Actually, that was Reed Raymond. Popped up on the right side of the line, the junior out of Moses Lake.
Cougar offensive line getting a little antsy there. A lot of pressure being shown. Strong safety. Gardner was up in his face, started to come, and Reed just rocked a little too early. Those are the things that kill the drive, so those are the execution issues that Mike Price was trying to drive home this week with very, very intense practices all week long.
See the Vandals come with the blitz this time. Here they come. Cougars pick it up into the corner. Marcus Williams, touchdown, Washington State.
strategy there as Marcus Williams is 6'5". Bradshaw, the corner for the Vandals, is only 5'9". And Mike Price just selects to throw the jump ball. And the 6 or 7 inches adds to 6 points for the Cougars. Ryan Lindell puts on the extra point. So a nice play call. Good idea by Mike Price. The timeout was well used. Nice blitz click up by the offensive line. Everybody is kept on the line of scrimmage, and there you see the jump ball. Marcus Williams just going up over the top. Nice execution on that football play. You see they're both right there. Both have a shot for the football. That's just an outstanding play call, outstanding strategy by the coaching staff of Washington State to take advantage of a mismatch.
Cougars go 80 yards in 11 plays, and Clete, that is a huge score for Washington State from a confidence standpoint.
Very much so. They needed to get in that end zone, get some confidence early. Idaho Vandals now bring their offensive football team on the field that performed very well in the second half against Auburn down in that tough southern part of the country.
Brian Lindell set to kick it away for Washington State. See the Vandals send back deep. It's Bradshaw and Chris Lacey for Idaho. Lindell will kick into the little wind that we do have. 7-0 Washington State after their opening drive. Lindell, a line drive kick towards the sideline, and it takes a good Cougar bounce into the end zone. The Vandals will want to cover that football. Now they do, as it's blown dead. So Lindell gets the nice bounce on that one, and the Vandals will have it at their 20. Ed Dean, 6'2", 203-pound junior out of Grandview, Idaho, Rimrock High School. Started against the Cougs actually a year ago, was knocked out of the game eventually with a concussion. 7 of 17 for 75 yards and was picked off once against the Cougs a year ago. So far this year, 59% completion rate, 291 yards. Those 6 touchdowns, by the way, number 5 nationally, as John Welsh was hurt in first the Eastern game and then hurt in the Auburn game, and Dean took over as the starter. Travis Stombaugh, the tight end, over to the other side of the formation on first down. Long count by the Vandals, and Dean will gun it and has the completion. Nice catch by Ethan Jones. Sandwiched between a couple of Cougar defenders. Take a look at the Idaho offensive front out of Cheney, a quarterback in high school. Rick DeMulling did a nice job, was All Big West Conference a year ago. Ryan Prestamonico, 4 catches for 42 yards against the Cougs a year ago and had the game winner at the Humanitarian Bowl. Gain of 13 on first down. It's 1st and 10 from the 33 of Idaho. Cougars show blitz. Idaho again, long count, little movement on the left side of the line. False start on the Vandals. Gives those guys a little chance to pound on each other on a free play. Let's take a look at the Cougar defense now. The front 4 up front. One of the guys to keep your eye on, number 56, Tomasi Kungaika, out of Anchorage West High School. 2-time All-Stater up there. Steve Gleason, number 34, out of Gonzaga Prep for Washington State. Over 200 career tackles now. In the secondary, LaJuan Gibbons, the man on the spot. He's the guy that teams have been picking on. We'll see how well he's able to perform today. In fact, he is out for the moment. Virgil Williams is in, a freshman out of Tacoma, Curtis High School, in at the corner. 1st and 15. Delay, fake, Dean rolling, throws deep, and caught! Prestamonico in Cougar territory, and LaJuan Gibbons was in the lineup, and he's the guy who's victimized.
Boy, Ed Dean has been doing an excellent job. Last week, the second half, he performed real well, and here he puts this ball right where it has to be, over the top. And LaJuan just cannot quite catch up with Prestamonico, who ran a nice route, bought himself enough time to get open on that sideline. A good throw and catch, and also a nice little wrinkle with the play action, taking the Cougar aggressiveness out of the picture. 2 tight ends again. Robert shifts aside to the short side of the football field. Cougar showing a lot of pressure. Gleason in a down stance.
threatening to come.
Here comes the blitz. Dean hammered as he gets rid of it. The ball's loose, and it's incomplete. A juggling act. First Jones had a hand on it, then the Cougar defender Gibbons had a chance at it. Couldn't get it, though.
Still a pretty good job by Ed Dean to get rid of that football with Big Rob Meyer right in his face. He's going to check it. You see he's calling a slant. He's going to try to get that inside break. Rob Meyer right there to put the pressure on, but that's a pretty darn good throw, and Jones had a chance to catch that ball and really run with it.
Tenor the lone setback, 2nd down and 10. Again, the Vandals go with the motion, move the tight end Roberg over to the other side of the formation. Tenor will get his first carry. Finds a little seam, breaks a tackle, and goes down at the 32. And the Cougs just not quite doing a good job of wrapping up.
On the tackle, number 10, Billy Newman.
Tenor, pretty good running back, though. Running strong behind those shoulder pads. Got that low center of gravity out of the west side of Washington State over there in Bremerton. You see here the right side of the football is going to pull and try to get out in front. Curtis Holden is not able to make the tackle, and good first down pickup. Second down pickup, brings 3rd and 4.
Lacey goes in motion for the Vandals. Here comes the Cougar blitz. Tenor does not get the first down. Decision time now for Chris Tormey, Phil Early, and the Vandal coaches.
Well, I guess it's going to be probably about a 48-yard field goal for Spiva, or for Davis, and that's a pretty good pop for him. He's got the leg, but I think at this point they're going to go ahead and say, we're moving the football pretty well on the ground here. These last 2 carries have picked up 3 and 4. Let's give it a shot. They're going to bring in the big football team, bring in the 3 tight end alignment. Tenor is the back.
Cougars up to the line of scrimmage, really guarding against the run. Tenor got the first down. Good surge through the center of the line. Turns out to be a 4-yard gain. You can hear the reaction from the Vandal fans.
Well, we talked about the Cougars going to their strength on their side of the football field, but Cleve Iano, the left guard here, and the center, Wallace, does a nice job just sealing off that inside. Got a good block, did Wallace. Curtis Holden, a good pickup by Tenor. So the Vandals drive stays alive. Again, 3 tight ends in the football game right now for the Vandals.
Michael Moody, the running back now, as he replaces Tenor. And Moody will get the carry, try to bounce it out. Here comes the pursuit. He's called down. Big Rob Meyer says you're not getting away. First-round choice in the Canadian Football League draft out of West Vancouver, British Columbia. Hogtied the running back out of Long Beach.
Number 87, Rob Meyer with the tackle.
Nice job this time by Big Rob Meyer. The center is pulling. That's Wallace. And he pushes him back into the running lane that Tenor was trying to do. It forced him a little deeper and then allowed him to get that side-to-side pursuit that the Cougars are so famous for. So nice job by Rob Meyer on first down, 2nd and 11.
Vandals will empty the backfield for the first time. Dean out of the shotgun. Did the Cougs get back? Apparently. Quick toss, incomplete. That play just never looked in sync from the get-go.
Ed Dean, if there's anything that he had a problem with, at least during warm-ups here today, was he's throwing the ball a little high and perhaps not comfortable yet with this environment that's supposed to be his home field, but let that one loose, let it sail.
Now, the Vandals practiced over here a few times during training camp, but did not come over here at all this week since they're playing Washington State. I think in a normal situation when they're at home game and they're not playing the Cougs, they'll come over at least once and play in the stadium. 3rd and 11. And Dean is going to have to use the 2nd Idaho timeout.
Almost everybody on Idaho's football field was calling for that timeout. Chris Tormey wants a chance to think a little bit about it.
Cougs up 7-0, first quarter.
Back out to the left. Now sets up, throws the pass down the left side. Caught it at the 30. Ducked inside of the end of the 20. Go for the tackle. He will score. 5. Touchdown, Washington State. A miraculous play. He did a war down there for the football and took it in to score.
Season tickets are on sale now. Call 1-800-GO-COUGS.
9 minutes and 24.
Hey, if you're a fan of golf, you got to check this out. Ben Crenshaw, the Ryder Cup captain, goes one-on-one with Chris Myers on Going Deep. There's been a little controversy surrounding the U.S. Ryder Cup team. Some of the players think they should be paid to play, but it's going to be fun when they get together at the Country Club in Brookline, Massachusetts. Ben Crenshaw, Going Deep with Chris Myers, 9 o'clock on Fox Sports Net Northwest. Cleat was picked to play in the Ryder Cup, but he's going to be busy with me doing the Arizona football game next week. So
Yeah,
too bad we can't be there.
the Ryder Cup wouldn't pay me enough. So
Oh, that what it was. Okay.
I'm out of here.
Well, Washington State used the timeout, Cleat, and turned it into a big third down conversion for a touchdown. See if Idaho can do the same here.
Again, an interesting chess match with personnel. Cougars come out, and they've got 5 DBs in the package. Torrey Holloman at the safety, and Lamont Thompson back at his normal safety position.
Willie Alderson is the lone setback for the Vandals. Ed Dean, 2 of 4 so far on the drive, looking for completion number 3 to keep it alive. Here comes the pressure, gets rid of it, incomplete. Good mix-up by the Cougar defense that time. They brought pressure, and they did a nice job on the outside one-on-one.
Well, you got to give credit that time to Lawan Givens, who just absolutely smothered Jones on that play. Played it perfectly, and again, that ball sailed a little bit, and he's probably fortunate that that ball did sail. That will bring on Davis. Try a pretty good pop here. He's got the wind behind him, straight behind him.
2 of 2 this year from 49 and 35 he's connected. This will be a 45-yard attempt. Spot good, kick on the way, got plenty of leg. And he pushed it right. So Ben Davis unable to connect, and the Vandals have turned away on their initial possession.
So the Cougar defense able to thwart the Vandals, not let them into the end zone, and Davis pushes that right. But Tormey's got to feel pretty good that this football team can move the ball. Very effective through the air initially on that drive. Now they just got to look upstairs and think about what was effective and what wasn't.
Of concern for Tormey, last year's Washington State game and last week against Auburn, when Idaho fell behind early. That was the mindset he was really trying to get over with this team this week. And talking to all the players, they wanted a fast start against the Cougars. No flag as there was movement on the line. Nyan Taylor, his second catch, breaks a couple of tackles and gets out to the 40 for a Cougar first down.
Number 82, Nyan Taylor.
Well, I really like the effort here by Nyan Taylor, not concerned about that football being ripped out. He just doesn't tuck it up and go to the turf here. He's going to make plays, and that's what the coaching staff needs him to do. Forget about those fumbles, forget about the drop passes, go out and do what you know you can do and be yourself. And there is a good example of Nyan trying to make something happen. Picks up the first down and shows that the intensity is back.
I don't think the Cougars have the right personnel in the lineup right now for the play that was called. There's a flag, and that's why. Birnbaum was looking at the sidelines. When the play was signaled in, he was confused, and then he looked over right before he started calling the signals. Cougars are not doing a good job penalty-wise this year. They are one of the worst 10 teams in the nation, being penalized 93.5 yards per game. That's their second false start of this one.
Well, and the problems on offense have been team-wide. It's an epidemic. There's been every component from time to time that has misstepped, and they've got to pull it together and get some chemistry going.
Burnett the setback on 1st and 15. Birnbaum, quick toss, wide open is Nyan Taylor. And Taylor out close to the first down. I'm a bit surprised that Cleavon Bradshaw's giving Nyan Taylor that much room, especially after what Taylor did to the Vandals a year ago.
Well, that's probably some of the reason they're giving him some room, as he did go for 97. And I think some of the teams that the Cougars have played have done a good job of containing the Cougar wide receivers and not allowing them to get behind them, but that's way too much room. Bradshaw is marked man so far this first quarter. The Cougars going right after him.
Nice start for Steve Birnbaum.
Well, Steve's had good starts. He's done some good things for this football team. He just has to have play a complete game.
Play action. Birnbaum wants Taylor. Had him for a moment. Now he's not there. Guns wide open. Hackett at the 20. Leifert out of bounds at the 12. Beautiful play fake by Steve Birnbaum on that 2nd and 1 play action pass.
The play fake is what allows Birnbaum as much time as he has. The defensive secondary actually had both the wide receivers covered very well. But you can see Steve tucks that ball right behind the hip, looks downfield, and finally Liefert Hackett comes all the way from his split end position on the right side of the football field, makes a huge gain for the Cougars. They're knocking on the Vandals' door.
Still 7:12 to go, first quarter. 7-0 Washington State. Ball on the Vandal 13. Burnett up the middle. Big hole. Dion Burnett. Touchdown, Washington State.
Well, you see this a lot with these aggressive, stunting, twisting defenses, and every once in a while, the perfect play is called against the wrong defensive call, and that time, Idaho stunted themselves right out of it. Burnett picks it up, and Lindell adds point number 14 for the Cougars. Watch on the left side, Lincoln Walton Schultz creates a nice kick-out block, and Ryan Tujay gets downfield, kicks out the safety, and Burnett is in for a nice touchdown, a quick drive that time. You can see the excellent kick-out block there, a big hole, and a nice bit of dancing into the end zone by Burnett, the young freshman, true freshman. His first start.
Thought he was going to finish it off by hugging the Idaho cheerleader.
Well, the Cougar cheerleaders down there. He's hugging the right team. Sun-baked crowd. This is a little bit more what they like to see. Offensive explosion, good execution, overcoming a few penalties on the way, but a nice job overall by the offensive side of the football team, and it would appear that the intensity of the practices this week has gotten through, because the Cougars are executing much better. You see that play, only 4 plays this time with 13 yards to polish it off.
It's interesting. Number of the Cougar players reacting to the very hard physical practices and being yelled at a lot by the coach, saying, hey, we needed that. And it takes a while for a coaching staff to feel out a football team and find out what kind of personality they have. Lindell. This will be Cleavon Bradshaw at the 5. Has a little room and then runs into Maury Banks out to the 22, 23-yard line. Champ Simmons, backup linebacker, in on the stop along with Maury Banks. Out to 23 for the Vandals.
Cleavon has been an integral part of the festivities so far today. Those hot black jerseys are maybe taking their toll a little bit. He's going to go take a rest. Talk to the defensive coach, but the offense is back on the field with Ed Dean at quarterback.
Trip to the left for Dean. Quick toss out, has his hot man open, and it's a catch by Chris Lacey, and a pretty good first down game. Might be enough for a first down. Lacey out of Oak Grove High School in San Jose.
No one facing up the slot man there. Cougars in a zone on first down, and Ed Dean just shot-putted that ball to him, got it out as quickly as he could. Long handoff. Nice pickup, first down by the Vandals.
Jeremy Wallace out of Post Falls, the center for the Vandals. Tenner going to try the left side and breaks a tackle and gets close to a first down. Tenner, a strong runner.
Nice little pickup that time. Cougars coming with Joey Hollenbeck trying to pop up the middle, get some penetration. You'll see Joey in the middle of the football field come out and just get picked off there. Nice block inside on the interior. I think, again, it was Huertas.
Huertas playing on a bad ankle, but able to get the job done there. First down, Vandals. They're at their own 44. Tenner will try the left side. It's bottled up, but he does a nice job to bounce it outside. You don't see that against the Cougar defense very often. Mike Price feels there was a hold, but it's not going to be called.
Nice bit of footwork here, explosive speed as Tenor had. He just looks like he's absolutely bottled up right there and got outside the penetration. Looks like the Cougars had him wrapping up, but that's just a good job of running to daylight. Second down and less than a yard now. Let's see if the Idaho Vandals come up with some razzle-dazzle on second and very short.
Two passing teams. Both of them would like to run it a little bit better than they have. Vandals have run it pretty well in their first two. Tenor has the first down. Cougs were trying to strip the football but couldn't. And right now in the trenches, Clete, the Vandal offensive line's getting the upper hand right now.
Well, they're running the ball very effectively, and Coach Dova got to be asking some questions of Coach Mike Walker and Coach Hickey about what's going on with the defensive line, because the interior of Idaho's offensive football line there is really doing some good job picking off some stunts and getting some holes for their running backs.
Vandals stay in the two tight end alignment. Roberg and Stombaugh, the tight ends. Got a little confusion by the Vandals now. And they did not get the playoff. Went to that audible, the same audible we saw that worked well earlier, and this time took up too much time on that audible.
Well, he had a little confusion. Strombaugh is big tight end, or almost a U-back, H-back. Was late in going in motion there, coming across, and then he saw the defensive reaction. Here you see Holden coming in the middle, and you see the hand signal out to the side, but it's just a little bit too late.
Glenn Boggin, who's a backup center, comes in as a third tight end now for the Vandals. Jeff Townsley, the motion man. Tenor wrapped up in the backfield. Curtis Holden out of San Francisco City College, knifed in. Made the tackle for the big loss.
So that play not making a lot of sense from up here as they take Townsley, they move him in motion. That makes the linebackers a little more comfortable that things are going to happen between the tackles. Three tight end alignment with only one wide receiver, and they really came after it. So that's one I think that the offensive coordinator Phil Early will probably have to scratch from the playbook today.
Vandals backed up now, 2nd and 19 from the Cougar 49. And now whistles. Still time on the play clock. 4:28 left in the opening quarter. Jack Folliard is our referee today.
He's saying that the tight end had come in and set, although the tight end is supposed to be able to move. Perhaps maybe the tackles was set also. Not sure what that call was, but legal procedure that time by the Vandals. Moving back even farther.
No, they didn't move the football back any further. Still second down. Maybe perhaps an inadvertent whistle. Long count again by Dean. Guns it deep. Threw it over the head of his intended receiver, Rossi Martin. Pretty good coverage that time by Virgil Williams, the freshman out of Tacoma.
Nope, had him stride for stride, forcing him back to look back into that sunshine. Cougars again taking the Idaho Vandals now out of their offense a little bit, and Idaho hurting themselves. They were at second and short and were unable to really punch it in for a first down again. So now they're looking at 3rd down 19.
Vandals are 1 of 2 in 3rd down conversions. You saw Dean 3 of 7 to this point. It's 3rd and 19 here. Cougars show blitz. Here they come. Sack. Billy Newman comes in from the outside to collect the sack.
Well, you could tell now that the Cougars are really gaining some aggressiveness. Billy Newman comes from his inside safety position, is able to jump all over Dean, but the Cougars jumped in, jumped out, then jumped back into the man-to-man defense, and Ed Dean looked back and had no chance.
Cougars almost got to it. Spiva gets it away. Hackett from his own 11, trying to dance. And he'll be brought down by a few Idaho Vandals after a return of about a yard is all. 14-0 Cougars, 3:22 left to play first quarter. Cougar football on Fox Sports Net Northwest.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the program.
Vandal trainer taking a look. Iono, a senior out of Victorville, California, had knee surgery in the off season, and sometimes when you've had that knee cut on, you break a little scar tissue loose every once in a while. It feels like you've re-injured the knee, and let's hope that that's just the case here.
Carnival, the new addition to Cougar football weekend, located at Blueberry Track. You can see the kids right there enjoying a good time today.
You see he's got the brace on that knee, and a lot of times when you have had surgery, there's also a mental issue of, oh, that was a little twinge, and hopefully the way he's walking off, he'll be able to come back in this football game. Good solid player for Idaho, but now a whole bunch of substitutions for Idaho as they bring in their 3 tight end package. Kenner will be the one back. Strombaugh's trying to figure out which side he lines up on.
First down Vandals after the 23-yard gain by Dean. Going to try Anthony Tenner, the play fake. Dean going to throw, has Townsley open. Did he come back and make the catch? The officials say yes. First catch for Jeff Townsley, who had 4 catches against the Cougars a year ago.
Well, that was that formation, the 3 tight ends with 1 wide receiver that I said, boy, they'll probably scrap that formation. They bring Townsley down in motion, and then he breaks upfield and runs a post corner. And this ball is delivered a little bit low and outside, and that's a tough angle to tell whether or not he got that football awful close. But the officials right there said he got the arms, got the hands underneath between the turf, and made the play.
Gain of 16. Vandals will go out of the shotgun, empty the backfield. First down for the Cougar 41. Time for Dean over the middle, and it is incomplete. Too tall. Townsley defended well that time by Billy Newman. One of the things that happened a year ago, Cleet, Idaho was able to do some substituting late, which caused substituting problems defensively for Washington State. NCAA changed the rule during the offseason, but the Vandals still managing to make some late substitutions.
Well, they had a player running down the middle of the field that time, and again, Ed Dean has been sailing the football a little bit. No real excuse for it other than he's letting it fly.
2nd and 10 for the Vandals now. Nowhere on the ground for Idaho to go.
Cougar defensive line has really done a good job so far this afternoon of reading the blocking schemes, and here they feel counter Trey and stay home. Kangaikan and also Hadeen doing a nice job of not going with the flow, staying home, playing their position, let the linebackers scrape around in there to help out. But nice job of reading what the offensive line is trying to do.
3rd and 12 for the Vandals. Alderson remains the lone setback for Idaho. Dean under pressure, breaks 1 tackle. We got a flag. Is it a hold or is it a face mask? The sack back at midfield is the 2nd by Washington State, but let's see what the officials say. Face mask against the Cougars will negate the sack. Now let's see if it's a 5 or a 15-yarder. That'll be the key.
From where that official threw the flag, he's pointing against the Cougars and trying to read lips to see if we see that face mask, and I think that's what we got.
5 yards on the previous run, still 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd down again after the face mask, a 5-yard face mask call.
There you see the twist, just a very negligible face mask, the 5-yard call, so it will not be an automatic first down. 3rd down and about 7, 8 for the Vandals. They'll come with 2 wide receivers down here short of the field and 1 up top. A lot of room up top as they shift Roberg over to the wide side of the football field now.
Cougars show blitz. It's worked well in this situation. The handoff to Alderson. Meyer wraps him up. Alderson thought he had gotten by Rob Meyer, but the big Canadian who's done a lot of upper body weight work. Look at the guns on Rob Meyer. Those arms are a lot bigger than they were a year ago.
Looked like Alderson was unsure about whether he had dusted off Meyer. He's trying to get away from them, tries to duck under. This time got a helmet instead of a face mask and horse-collared him down to the ground. Good effort by senior defensive tackle.
Vandals will go for it on 4th and 5 from the Cougar 36.
They try and draw him offside.
There's the delay of game penalty.
I think they were just trying to run up there and see if they could quickly get the Cougars to react to a fast alignment. Cougars did a good job. Discipline, stayed home. But the Vandals will keep the offensive football team out on the field. Punt group now is coming on. So they decided they'd try and use a little chicanery, and the Cougars stayed home. So good discipline that time by Coach Doba's defense. Forcing the punt. Into the wind this time.
Speedman doing a good job so far. Hackett, the return man for the Cougars. A fake by the Vandals. And the Cougars snuff it out. Lamont Thompson makes the tackle. Big linebacker Chris Nofuina trying to do his Junior Seau impersonation, and Lamont Thompson slot coming.
Well, good spot on the football field to take a shot at that. Coach Tormey trying to make a play, make something happen on the Cougar side of the football field, but conversely, if it doesn't work, Washington State ends up with excellent football position. Nice job by Lamont Thompson that time, doing what he's supposed to, doing what he's coached. Casey Dunn, the special teams coach, good discipline on that side.
First down handoff to Dion Burnett. This time he's unable to break the tackle in the backfield. Looked like Matt Jasek who knifed his way in.
Might have been Nofuinga.
Big Chris Nofo returning the favor.
There's a case where the stunt defensive coordinator Mills got his guy in the right position during the right play. Cougars trying to do a little counter tray action of their own, and he's able to get in there and mess things up in the running lane.
Burnett a big first quarter with 55 yards, but he's gone backwards a couple of yards here in the second quarter. Birnbaum being chased, gets rid of it. Too tall for Russell Meisen, the tight end, who was wide open. Wouldn't have been a first down play, but would have cut the deficit quite a bit.
Well, Birnbaum was looking to dump this ball off to Burnett. You'll see that Burnett's going to swing out to the right side here, and he takes a peek at it. It's not there, and he's just trying to scramble to make something happen. That's not his strength. When he gets out of the pocket and is moving his long, lanky legs, won't really get underneath him, and that one sails. But a pretty good afternoon so far for Steve Birnbaum.
Cooled off a bit from a red-hot start. Cougars with touchdowns on their first 2 drives. 4 wide receiver set on 3rd and 13 from the 35 of Washington State. Play fake. Birnbaum going to go down. The sack. James Durow was in there. Now Tosi bottling things up. The Vandals have made some defensive adjustments and done a nice job now.
Well, here they line up with only 1 defensive tackle on the football field, and then come with Durow way out on the right side of your football field. You're going to see the pressure, and then Durow gets rid of Raymond and collapses the pocket in a hurry. So nice job, good effort, just shedding with Raymond and throwing him out and getting into Birnbaum. So nice adjustment by the defensive group for the Vandals.
Good snap by Eric Larson. Kareem gets it away. Didn't hit it very well. See if he gets a bounce on the turf. Vern Bernard going to pick it up on the bounce at his 28 and get it out about 7-8 yards. So the Vandals going to end up with pretty good field position. 8:28 left to play in the first half. Washington State leads Idaho 14-0. You're watching Cougar football on Fox Sports Net Northwest. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Net Northwest. Tonight, highlights of the Seahawks and the Chicago Bears. Also catch up with Washington Husky head football coach Rick Neuheisel. Take a walk down press row with Northwest media members and the Northwest sporting news of the day. Tomorrow night at 7 on Fox Sports Net Northwest. Most of the wheat harvest is in, and the Cougars trying to harvest a victory here, leading 14-0. Now the chess match continues. We've seen both defenses make some nice adjustments. Now the offensive coaches are going to see what they can do to scramble that.
Yeah, it has a little bit of the feel of last year's game where the Cougars jumped out, had some big plays early, and may have got complacent and allowed Idaho to sneak back into that football game. And it's almost got the same kind of tempo going here, where the offense now has become a little flat the last couple drives, and Idaho has moved the ball at times pretty well. See if their offense can now find out how to put that big play in action.
Dean 4 of 11. Lamont Thompson's moved back to a safety. Lawan Gibbons and Virgil Williams are playing the corners. Newman and Thompson are the safeties. Earl Riley in there as well, as the Cougars are basically in a nickel package. Riley showing blitz. Moody working in an H-back type position. Dean rolling. And going to try to throw it deep. Open is Monaco. Comes back, makes the catch. Took advantage of the freshman, Virgil Williams. Big game for the Vandals.
Well, we're talking about finding the big play. First down, play action, roll. And throw the down, out and up. And it was well executed. The only thing that I'm sure Ed Dean wishes he had back is put a little bit more on that football, because you could see that Monaco is 10 yards behind the coverage. So there's the big play that they were looking for, but they didn't get in the end zone.
Big numbers for Monaco on 2 catches. Gain to 35. First down, Vandals at the Cougar 28. Dean over the middle, and his receiver was held up. Lacey got mixed up with Earl Riley.
Ed Dean, looking at his wrist, might have banged it on a helmet there. His right wrist that doesn't have the playbook on it.
I thought maybe he's looking at the other wrist to try to confuse the Cougars.
Yes, well, that would do it. Confuse himself in the process. Good position on the football field again to take a shot at the end zone. The alley-oop. Your receiver's looking back at you and has the advantage.
Townley and Jones, the biggest of the receivers, if you're thinking that way. Lacey into the motion. Hand off to Anthony Tenner, trying to bust it outside. Gleason runs him down, but a gain of about 5 or 6 on that play.
Haven't called Gleason's name too much this afternoon. Used to having him in on just about every play. Again, good job of maintaining the discipline in that spy and that active Cougar linebacker group.
Third down and 5 for the Vandals from the 23 of Washington State. Dean again with that long count. Drops to throw, and they have a first down at the 13-yard line. Nice pass, nice route. Gibbons had pretty good coverage. That's about all you can do. Well, Ethan Jones made the catch.
Yeah, and a nice play call by Phil Early, where when you run the guy in motion, you see the secondary move, and it tells you right away, if you're Ed Dean, whether or not they're in man-to-man, the adjustment and who's covering who, whether or not it's a shift for a zone or man-to-man coverage with that guy running. He clears it out, and just that extra little bit of help in deciphering the defense that allows you to make that play. So a good pickup down close to the Cougar end line.
Tormey wants him to hurry up. 4 seconds left on the playing clock. Dean gets it off in time, but it's a confusion play and into the end zone, and it's intercepted. Billy Newman picks it off.
Well, from the Idaho Vandals perspective, there's something wrong with this play from the get-go. Not only are they running out of time, but the running back is running into the quarterback, and the play action doesn't work well. They're trying to roll him out, get him some time. Then the pressure comes from the secondary on the quarterback because he doesn't have that play action being effective. And he just forces one in there, and a nice reaction by Billy Newman. Big play by the defense that time to offset Monaco's big play, and away they go. So nice job by the defense to back them out of there. Brings the offense. Let's see if the offense now for Washington State can pick up something and find a few holes of their own.
Against Stanford, they had a big play by Earl Riley like that, but then they turned it over a couple plays later. Birnbaum trying to go deep up the sideline. It's incomplete, trying to get it to Lever Hackett. Good coverage on the play by Dennis Gibbs. Boy, you talk about a big play man. Dennis Gibbs returned an interception 100 yards against UC Davis, 99 yards against Nevada, and then a fumble recovery 99 yards against Boise. That's pretty impressive.
Cougars have not been able to get behind those corners. Pretty good coverage by Gibbs on that play.
Let's keep an eye on Mal Tosi. Big number 98 came up limping a little bit at the end of that last play. 2nd and 10. Burnett, the handoff. Can he elude the tackle? No. J.J. Johnston stunted to the outside, made the stop there. Out of Kirkland, Interlake High School.
Not sure about that play. It's something I think Birnbaum should have checked out of. If the Johnston standing out there on his own and is threatening to come, you run the play right into him with no lead blocker. Just not a very effective play call. 5 DBs again.
Delay handoff to Thielbar, and the bruiser isn't going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. So the Cougs are going to have to punt it away after the Vandals do the job defensively. 2nd time in a row, the Cougars go 3 and out.
Yeah, again, first down, try to get all of it, maybe take advantage of a big play, but 2nd and long, 3rd and long, not very good execution, not very exciting play calls if you're a Washington State Cougar, where you're just trying to run the ball, and now it's up to Kareem to blast it away and get some field position back for Washington State. He's got the wind with him, so let's see if he can get it up in the air and get it in the trade wind. Pretty good average so far today.
Longest of his career is a 55-yarder, 52-yarder this year. Line of scrimmage, the 18 here. Bernard, the deep man for the Vandals. That's a good driving spiral this time by Anderson, and Bernard back to his 33 to make the catch and has a little bit of running room. Up the middle, Bernard. Cougars close on him at midfield, but Idaho's going to have good field position. Got a flag back where the catch was made. About a 49-yard, 50-yard punt.
Flag up on the corner over near the Cougar sideline. Jack Folliard's going to tell us what it's about.
Back on the return to
Illegal block.
So just when Idaho thought they had something pretty good happening, they'll mark it back.
Vandal football when we come back. 5:26 to go in the half. Cougs on top, 14-0.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the program.
And so that may be a little bit misleading, where the Cougar defender, the safety, Newman or whomever, is going with that man in motion.
Holden and Gleason, the only linebackers. Holden shows blitz, now backs off the line of scrimmage. Now looks like he's going to go anyway. Here's Robertson's drop, and not on the same page with Ethan Jones. It'll be 2nd down and 15.
Ed Dean is out of the game after that 3rd down incompletion. Juwan Gibbons stripping the ball from the Idaho Vandal wide receiver, and when he threw that ball, he got hit pretty good in the face and had a sore ankle. Little trouble on the snap. That's one of those things you just, no matter how many times you practice it on the sidelines, it's just not quite the same in game speed.
He's pretty gimpy on the sidelines right now, watching him walk. Here's Robertson, the drop. Here comes pressure. He gets hit by Holden, lets it go, and it's caught. Chris Lacey down to the Cougar 40-yard line. Great job by Robertson to hang in on that with Curtis Holden bearing down on him.
Excellent throw against the wind. Put that ball right where it had to be. Lamont Thompson, the free safety, is on the other side of the field and not able to come over and help out. That's just taking it vertical right there with Lacey. But again, that was a perfect football throw. Gleason from his inside linebacker position trying to get some movement up the middle and puts on a pretty good pop. Robertson delivered it nicely.
1st down Vandals at the Cougar 41. Anthony Tenner going to try to bounce it outside, and does, and gets a 1st down. 2:28, plenty of time for the Vandals in this half.
Bang, bang, 2 good-looking plays in a row. The Idaho Vandals come out. Mike Price is a little concerned as the inside of his defense got collapsed down, and with 5 DBs in the football game and only 2 linebackers, with those those big tight ends can come in and get a pop on one guy, it's a lot of times you have to run underneath, and Tenor showed again good explosive speed to the outside.
Tenor nearing the 50-yard mark for the half. First down, Vandals at the Coug 31 now. Tenor remains in the game. Again, the motion by the Vandals. Here comes the blitz. Tenor. We'll get back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
Now the Cougars stun into this one perfectly. Gleason from the outside forces it back into the middle. Rob Meyer fights off his block again. Rob's having an outstanding day this afternoon. Bend over, sucking for wind, though. It's a pretty hot day here.
Cougar defense has actually been on the field quite a bit in this one. Vandals had the big time of possession advantage in the first quarter, and it's been pretty even here in the second quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Vandals. Got a stomp on the motion man this time. Play fake. Robertson has it, guns it, and incomplete. Ball might have been tipped as it left the line of scrimmage.
Yep, a little bit of wobble that was induced by a defensive lineman. Randall Smith had his hands up in the air. In there at a defensive line position there, but he is a kind of designated pass rusher from that outside defensive end position. Again, good spot on the field to go to the end zone.
3rd and 10 now for the Vandals from the 31. Cougs showing blitz. They have come with the blitz in this situation most of the time today. Dean sets up the screen, gets it to Tenor. Torrey Holloman with the nice open field tackle.
Great individual effort by Torrey Holloman, who pumped the team up with the speech last night, telling them, guys, you just got to make the play, and here he does, because this is pretty well set up. Gets underneath and makes a great tackle right there. That's great individual effort, and that's what you talk about, individuals making plays.
Ben Davis going to try it from 48 yards.
Hit one of 56.
A 62-yarder in junior college. It's against the wind. Low snap, and it's kicked. Ball comes loose. Cougars are going to have it with 50 seconds left in the half. Just the timing all goofed up by the low snap. Idaho's had all sorts of problems snapping the football for kicks.
Well, the defense comes up again and makes a couple plays after the Idaho Vandals behind Robertson had taken a couple quick shots at him, but resilient, playing hard. And like we talked about, they've been on the field an awful lot this half. See if the offense now can take advantage of what is in effect a turnover by the Vandals.
Derek Pope, a high school quarterback, couldn't get the handle on that low snap in time, really, to make it efficient for Davis. Cougs huddle on the sideline, come out. Burnett in the backfield with 50 seconds left in the half. Birnbaum the drop, has all kinds of time. Now chased out of the pocket and going to try to gun it, and incomplete. Nobody in the area. Marwan Zubaidi was the closest to the area.
Steve just threw that one away. Just saw the sideline was vacant. They had somewhat of a receiver downfield, but good coverage that time in the secondary. 3 wide receiver pattern, and no one really broke loose on the wide side. By the time Steve could move out to that wide side of the field, just nothing there, and dumped it. So
seemed like that play took longer than 8 seconds, but Mike Price's club will have 42 seconds left. 2nd and 10. 42 officially on the clock. Going to hand it to big Jeremy Thielbar. See if he can get outside. He will. We got a flag. It's coming back.
Jeremy Thielbar, number 33.
I think they got big Ryan Raymond for a hold.
Officials are again going to tell us that it's holding on the Cougars, and unfortunately Thielbar's effort will be nullified, brought back.
So the penalties continue to be a bugaboo for Washington State. He's got that official's mic on. We're hearing all the intimate conversations now.
There you see the penalties, and just too many. Just interrupts it, makes it that much harder. Cougars now might be rethinking things. Take the time off that clock, as they did with a last running play that was called back because of the penalty. Let's see if they elect to go up top or run it out.
They'll run it out. Just hang on to the football. Thielbar gets about 5 on that carry. That'll be the final play of the half. Washington State will go to the locker room with a 14-0 lead over the Idaho Vandals, and Mike Price and his guys can be happy with the first couple of possessions. Maybe a little concern after that, but very happy with the way the defense played the entire half. And Chris Tormey and his guys will be saying, okay, guys, Washington State last year, Auburn this year, Washington State this year, slow start. Let's see if we can come back again. End of the first half, Washington State 14, Idaho nothing. You're watching Cougar football on Fox Sports Net Northwest. Bud Namath and Cleet Caspers, we're ready to get the third quarter underway here. Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington State with a 14-0 lead over the Idaho Vandals. And Cleet, really two different ball games early on. Washington State, the first 2 possessions, moved it very well. After that, Idaho's defense toughened up.
No, it was a very good start for the Cougars. We talked about it at the open where they had to get out, be effective, be efficient, and get in the end zone, and they did just that. Idaho, on the other hand, has not quite been able to make the play that gets them into the end zone. Had a couple attempts at it, but ended up turning over the ball and weren't able to complete any of their drives.
Mike Price chatting on the Cougars sideline. The fans enjoying the sunshine. Take a look at the highlights from the first half. And again, Washington State got things started on the very first play from scrimmage. Watch Dion Burnett goes 25 yards, the longest run of the year by a Cougar running back, and that was a part of the GM drive of the day as the Cougars took it all the way down the field. Steve Birnbaum to Marcus Williams, 19 yards, caps an 80-yard, 11-play drive, took 2:28, the GM drive of the day. Next time the Cougars had the football, Dion Burnett scampers 13 yards, had a big hole, broke a couple of tackles, and the Cougars were up 14-0. Vandals were moving, but then Ed Dean lofts this one up into the end zone, and Billy Newman comes up with the interception to snuff out the Idaho drive. Washington State leads at 14-0. Look at the story at the end of the first quarter. Cougars with 183 total yards, even though Idaho held the football a lot longer. But Cleet, watch the difference as we switch these and take a look at just the numbers from the second quarter.
Well, in the second quarter, you can see the thing that was really apparent is the rushing game -6 was non-existent. Weren't very effective running the ball. First quarter, Dion Burnett had some nice pops and created some balance. On the other hand, Idaho was able to run the ball a little better and had some pretty efficient drives, except for the fact that they had the turnover, big turnover in the end zone.
Big news for Washington State, 2 quarters of football without turning it over. There's an Idaho fan who hopes the second half goes a little bit better. I wonder if that gives you a weird suntan when you sit in the sun all day with that paint on your face. Lamont Thompson, Mike Price on the sidelines. Cougars will be kicking to the Vandals. Vandals taking their time getting out here. Almost could be called for a delay of game.
Well, Mike Price, again, at halftime, I'm sure said, good effort. We got to get better on execution on offense. When we do execute and don't implode, we can score on these guys. And we just got to shake off the little false starts and penalties that have been interrupting our drives, but continue to take care of the football, which they did a very good job. No fumbles on the ground, no interceptions, no even any real threats of the like. And you can see the first half possessions there on the Vandal side that they missed the long field goal, had a couple punts, the interception in the end zone, but really have only threatened twice. Cougars, on the other hand, doing a very good job in the first quarter. You see the 2 touchdowns right off the bat, 11 plays, and then the quick drive where Dion Burnett scored. But then since then, they had a couple interruptions, primarily due to penalties. Got to get rid of those and take advantage of the opportunities that are given them.
Talked to Mike Price earlier in the week, and he was chuckling. He got a phone call from Bill Moose, the Oregon AD, and a part of the 1977 Washington State Cougar football team that owns the longest losing streak in Cougar history at 11 games. And Bill Moose said he implored Mike Price and the Cougars to win this game because that 11-game losing streak is the only record that the 77 team has left.
Yeah, that's the only reason Moose is in the program. He wants to be able to come back and look his name up. Great entertainer, Bill Moose, doing a nice job down there with that Oregon program.
Section 3, row 20,
Idaho, again, meandering out here onto the football field, loosening up. We're trying to get a look to see if we can find if Ed Dean is warming up on the sidelines, but it's Robertson. Ed Dean is sitting down. Like we talked about, he got smacked in the nose. Still having a little trouble breathing, it looks like, but we're not sure until they actually come out in his first half possession. You see Ed Dean's numbers, not too bad. And he's just trying to clear out a passage. It's tough to throw the football when you can't breathe.
That and the fact he wasn't walking too well either.
New kickoff individual for the Cougars.
Nick Lambert's going to kick it off. And he doesn't have much luck as he sidewinds it. And fortunately for him, it doesn't go out of bounds. It'll be fielded by Cleavon Bradshaw at the 8, and he gets out across the 25 to the 26. So we'll have to try to find out if there's something wrong with Ryan Lindell or just a little change by Washington State to have Nick Lambert kick it off. And Lawan Gibbons comes up gimpy off of that kick return. He had to be helped off right by the Cougars sideline. So Washington State a little thin at corner. Greg Robertson will work against Lamont Thompson at one corner and Marcus Williams, the freshman out of Curtis High School in Tacoma, at the other. Anthony Tenner is the setback for the Vandals. He had 49 yards in the first half. See what sort of adjustments have been made. Tenner's going to try the right side. Nothing there. The initial surge about a yard or two, and then after that it was all Cougars.
Handoff from number 4, the quarterback, Greg Robertson.
Robertson showed good athletic ability, could throw the ball. The Idaho Vandals, though, are getting a little thin at that quarterback position. Welsh, the starter at the beginning of the year, broke his ankle and actually had surgery, I think, today on that ankle, but he's out for the season, so they're down to their number 3 guy if Ed Dean cannot play.
2nd and 7 now for the Vandals after the gain of 3 by Tenner. And they'll try Tenner again, and big Tomasi Kangaika fights off the block from Cleve Iono and makes the initial contact.
See Lawan Gibbons on the sidelines, cramping up, trying to get some Gatorade in him. Loosen up that right calf. Nice play that time by Kangaika as he just backed Cleve Iono into the backfield and then made the tackle around him. Iono had hurt a knee a little bit in that first quarter, and now we got a flag early by the linesman.
Flag on the flag.
Vandals really struggle on third down conversions. Converted just 1 in the first half.
Illegal substitution, offense.
So we talked about that a little bit earlier, where the Vandals have been bringing in people a little bit late, and the officials called it this time. Chris Tormey.
Probably with a little help from Mike Price.
Yeah, what are you talking about? That was perfectly legal, and he's a little bit hot. But the linesman's right there on the side, and he says, nope, they're coming in after the huddle's been broke. That's illegal. Not going to get any sympathy from that linesman, just making it a little more difficult on himself.
3rd and 14 for the Vandals. 5 wide out set. Cougs show blitz. They back out of it. Now they come with Riley, and the ball is almost intercepted. Steve Gleason had a chance on it. Now you got a late hit. Riley knocked over Robertson, and instead of the Vandals having to punt from near their own end zone, they're going to have another first down.
Well, my eyes had been pulled away by the throw.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, 15 yards, first down.
That's a huge mistake. Well, Earl Riley.
Here you see Robertson in the shotgun, trying to buy a little bit of time, throws that ball, and, you know, that's a pretty good pop there, a step or two late. Awful tough if you're coming from that safety position on the blitz to slow down after you've left your feet. But the official's right there and said, nope, that's bad judgment. And it is, and to pick up a first down for the Vandals to give them a little more breathing room and keep this drive going. So again, the penalty flag this time on the defense, mental errors.
Now we've got a problem. Sideline warning to Idaho this time. They gave one to the Cougars in the first half. Vandals have a first down at the 37.
See, the Cougars still sticking with the Lamont Thompson at the corner for Gibbons. Williams up top, man on man.
Holden shows blitz. See if the linebacker will come charging at the snap. Now he'll back off. They'll give it to Tenor, and he'll try the right side and get about a yard or two. Grady Emerson in there with a number of other Cougars.
On the stop, number 34, Steve Gleason.
Gleason credited with the tackle as well. Gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 now from the 39-yard line for Idaho. Greg Robertson, 6'2", senior out of Smithfield, Utah. There's Phil Early, former Cougar coach, now the offensive coordinator.
Again, Strombaugh in that H-back position, U-back position, trying to get something going with him in motion and run behind him.
Tanner going to try to run behind Strombaugh this time, and got one block, but not another.
Pretty nice job that time by Williams, young corner, recognizing that it is run, comes up, run supports, makes a nice strong tackle there. Corey Holloman also from a safety position, good strong tackler. Again, the secondary was, at the beginning of the season, the real strength of the Washington State defense. A lot of experience at that safety position. That's what you need to be able to blitz and come out of unusual positions. See if the Cougars come with pressure this time from the safeties.
3rd and 5. Robertson short drop, guns it out, has the ball dropped by his receiver. Chris Lacey unable to hang on. Billy Newman with the coverage. Vandals will have to punt this time.
Robertson really didn't have much room to operate there. Had to get that ball away as he's still fading away backwards. Good pressure by the Cougar defense, and so they stopped the second drive of this 3rd quarter.
Spiva to punt it away, averaging 45 yards a kick in the first half. He'll kick this one into a wind that's kicked up a bit. It's been a long game. The officials have been busy. We got a timeout.
Somebody's down on the field. We didn't see him over on the Cougar sideline. Again, it looks like more cramping going on, and it is Luan Gibbons again who's experiencing a cramp and forced to head to the bench and rest that one. Unusually, after coming out from halftime and then just cramping up. Usually at the those kind of things happen later in the football game, but for whatever reason, Luan's not working that right leg.
Leifert Hackett ready to return it for Washington State. Plenty of time to get the kick away. A high kick, the wind holds it up, and it'll go out of bounds. See where the officials spot it. Should be outside of the 30. Going to be right at the 30-yard line. Cougars' first possession of the 3rd quarter coming up next. Cougar football on Fox Sports Net Northwest. Young fan with an Idaho shirt and a Cougar tattoo. He's got allegiances to both sides.
Keeping his recruiting options open.
There you go. He just wants to come see a lot of football at Martin Stadium. Cougs will empty the backfield. Go with the 5 wide receiver set to open up the 3rd quarter. Steve Birnbaum with trips to the right, the open side of the field. There's the drop, guns it out. It's incomplete. Ryan Knowles never saw that football coming at him. Young man out of Sandpoint had it kind of glance off the side of his helmet, I believe.
Here's Birnbaum's numbers for the first half. And like we said, he started out red hot and cooled. And first down's been a big issue as far as that cooling down. First down, they've come up and on occasions when they've been able to run the ball effectively on first down, had started drives. They're throwing the ball and trying to pick up a quick 5-yard hit to see if they get the ball back to Burnett.
Birnbaum actually 12 and 24 in the first half. Here's Dion Burnett, running room. Picks up about 9 yards.
If I'm Mike Price, there's nothing more than I want to get this guy the ball, let him get more and more comfort with his offensive line, running the football, establish some ground game, and then maybe do a little play action off it. But there's nothing more I'd like as Burnett goes off the field to get that guy another 15 carries in the second half.
Thielbar in the short yardage situation. Cougs with 2 tight ends. They need about a half a yard for the first down. Thielbar out of Sandpoint will bust it and get it. Pretty good surge by the offensive line, just enough for Thielbar to batter his way to the first down.
Pretty good job by Thielbar. As you see, Washington State, their first 2 drives, they picked up a whole mess of their total yards. In the last 6 drives, it's been pretty meager. 28 yards in only. So at halftime, I'm sure Mike and the offensive coaching staff said, you know, let's go out, establish ourselves again on the ground. Let's try to pick up a few first downs and put together a nice drive coming out, just like we did the first quarter when we came out and went right down the field.
First down from the 41 of Washington State. Two tight ends. Birnbaum short drop, wants to go deep, throws it up for Taylor, and can't get it. Taylor initially looked like he had about a half step on Cleavon Bradshaw.
Trying to get Cleavon to bite on the hitch. Good pass protection that time, allowed Steve to put that ball where he needed to on the outside shoulder. Just enough wind to take it over the fingertips of Nyan Taylor. We talked about him last year, had a huge game, 250-some yards, and here's the pump. Not much of a pump, but that ball is thrown pretty well. Nyan Taylor just cannot quite get outstretched, but again, a first down play again that doesn't yield much. Burnett in the background to see if they spread it out and run it.
Here comes pressure. Birnbaum goes up for Zubaidi and can't get the ball to him. I don't know if there was a miscommunication there or if Steve just had to try to get rid of it in a hurry.
Well, the Cougars, again, trying to make the big play, trying to move the football field, get in behind the secondary, and haven't been able to do it against Idaho. Brings up 3rd and 10.
Good look at Birnbaum calling the play in the huddle. What do you think of Dion Burnett on the draw here?
Looks like the Cougars are out of alignment here. They're finally getting up to the line of scrimmage like they need to be.
How about the screen to Burnett? Gets outside, has some running room, gets a block. Burnett with some speed and bumped out of bounds by Brad Rice. It'll be a Cougar first down.
Well, we talked a little bit about his vision, his ability to shake it loose, and he comes up with a nice catch. The first part is this is a difficult catch. He's running away and just gets that out in front of him, perfectly thrown ball. You see he's got a shot, just needs one block. It's a nice play by Rice as he forces him out of bounds, but a good 3rd down conversion by the Cougars keeps this drive alive, threatening to score now.
25-yard gain. First down from the 34 of Idaho. Audible by Birnbaum. Short drop, trying to buy some time. Guns it into the end zone for Taylor. He dropped another one. Second week in a row, Nyan Taylor has dropped a touchdown pass.
Well, that explains it right there. Fans can't believe it. This guy has been, like we talked about, the playmaker, and he makes a great adjustment here. Comes down and his route and the play is broken. It's over. Birnbaum scrambling, and this ball is laid out after effectively Nyan signals to him, I'm going deep, had everything there, and no excuses. Got to make that play.
Fans saw the replay on the scoreboard here and can't believe it either. Cougs go trips right this time with Burnett in the backfield, 2nd and 10. Little screen to Burnett. He's got it, running room, has an escort out front. Dennis Gibbs able to corral him out of bounds at the 21. Ryan Tujay a little slow getting up for Washington State.
Well, a nice use again of Burnett. Get him the ball 15, 20 times this afternoon in this second half. He's been the playmaker. Excellent hands. You can see that he just very comfortable with taking that ball, looking it in, and turning right away and getting upfield. And this is a very effective part of this offense. If you've got a running back and a screening package that works, really is effective against teams that are common with inside blitzes and stunts.
Great shot of Steve Birnbaum as he directs things at the line of scrimmage. They give it to Burnett, spins outside, he'll go down, loss of a couple. Great defensive play that time by Dennis Teatafa, sophomore out of San Diego.
Well, they just stunted right into it. Again, they're gambling, and if they make the right stunt, they get a big play and get a loss like they did there. If they don't, like we saw in the first quarter, where they stun out of position and move a linebacker and a hole is created, then the offense wins. It's just the gamble that they're taking. Mike Price just had to be patient, continue to bang away with the running backs.
Thielbar in the backfield now. Still staying in block. Birnbaum under pressure. Zubaidi threw it too tall. And Birnbaum a little upset with himself. The ad-libs just aren't quite there.
Well, Zubeidi was unsure whether or not he should come back to his quarterback or take off to the end zone. And, you're tied. If things break down, you come back to your quarterback. And just as he started to come back to his quarterback, Birnbaum let it fly. Waited as long as he could, but had a good idea. Don't mind that throw under pressure, because it was either my guy catches it, who's behind the secondary, or nobody gets it. So not a bad idea by Steve Birnbaum.
3rd down and 12 now for the Cougs. A little better than what they did at Stanford. 2 of 15 on 3rd down last week. Here comes the blitz. Birnbaum goes down, fumbles the football. Vandals have it. It's Chris Nofoinga. He is gone. And Birnbaum is hurt. Touchdown, Idaho. Birnbaum's down at the 33.
Touchdown, Idaho.
A huge turn of events as Birnbaum is down, and Mike Price obviously is concerned. Vandals gamble, get the sack, and I can't tell if Steve is having trouble with his neck. They seem to be trying to stabilize his back or his neck, but you can see pressure right up the middle. Tosi will come. Nofoinga comes up the middle, and there's just a big pressure that's put on by Tosi, and then it's off to the races for Nofo. Huge turn of events. The Cougars were looking like they were going to put it in the end zone or get 3 out of it. And Idaho makes a great adjustment, makes the play, but you can tell that there's some serious concern because Birnbaum is not moving, and they have the hands around the back of the helmet, which tells me that they're either concerned about the shoulder, trying to keep the head stabilized, and hopefully it's something that Steve can spring back up. He's been a somewhat brittle player.
We'll come back. Idaho to kick the extra point. We'll check on Steve Birnbaum. 14-6 Cougars in the 3rd quarter.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the program.
Steve Birnbaum on the Cougar bench was able to walk off under his own power, but obviously shaken up after he made it to the sidelines. Ben Davis was able to boot the extra point through. It's 14-7. Washington State leads Idaho, but the Vandals now ready to kick it off, and Jason Gesser will be the man at the controls for Washington State.
Yeah, just near Birnbaum right there, we're looking at Jason Gesser taking snaps from the center, and it is pretty evident that he's got the helmet off, and he has done for a while anyway. Just real slow as he walked off. Unfortunately, there's a breakdown in the offensive line, and Steve Birnbaum is the guy that's paying for the big turnover that leads to points. Not necessarily his doing, but Idaho with the big play they've been looking for all day.
See if they can hold on to the momentum. Davis approaches it. Short kick. Cougs better turn around and look and see the ball. And Billy Newman runs up and makes the catch and gets turned around and knocked down at about the 23, 24-yard line.
Billy Newman, number 10, returns.
So it'll be interesting to see, Clete, what happens as we get a flag in late as the players were continuing after the whistles. If Washington State can keep any of the offensive momentum going. They had a decent drive going.
Well, like I talked about, I'm hoping that they see the value in young Burnett as you look at some of the statistics for Jason Gesser. Hasn't done anything real spectacular at in his attempts. Has had thrown a couple of interceptions. He's I guess if there's something that Mike Price is concerned about, is he's just concerned about his grasp of the offense. He's out there, and Mike Price isn't really sure how he's going to react on certain play calls, and it's just a learning process between the two. I was thinking a little bit about comparisons, and it reminds me of a young Cade McNown when he was at UCLA. UCLA's program was struggling. Cade McNown was forced into a position where he didn't really know the offense, had to scramble around and got beat up. Cougars will start with 1st and 10 at their own 11.
They'll give it off to Dion Burnett. It was a face mask call against Washington State on the return that puts them in horrible field position, and Dion Burnett able to pick up a yard or two is all.
Well, the offensive line has got to perform. they've been doing a pretty good job today, with the exception of letting Tosi in and sack Birnbaum on that last play. But, you know, all in all today, they've done a pretty good job of creating some holes, executing on the screen passes in those last couple drives. Wouldn't be a bad play to go back to. Burnett is out, though, and 5 wide receivers into the package.
You can look back, none of that happens if Nyan Taylor hangs on to that football for a touchdown. Here's the pressure on Gesser, and he'll go down. Another sack. That's the 4th of the day for the Vandals. Now Tosi with the sack.
Well, they're moving Mao around different positions in the football field, and here he's lined up on the left side of the football field up against one of the Raymonds. And Jason has time to throw this ball maybe in a 1 or 2 count, but pulls it down, and there's big Mao Tosi in his way.
Cougs facing 3rd and long now, 3rd and 13. Gesser throwing it deep. Too deep for Farwan Zubaydi. Cougs are going to have to punt out of their own end zone. Vandal crowd appreciative. They're on their feet in Martin Stadium.
Well, the penalty, again, on a special teams, forces bad field positions. You have to be pretty conservative. Jason Gesser did not turn the ball over there, even though he got sacked, and didn't throw an interception. I guess that's the bright side.
Anderson to punt it. A good kick by Kareem. Bernard will have to go back inside his 40 to make the catch. Slips a tackle from Lamont Thompson and gets out near midfield. So the Vandals going to have great field position with 7:13 left to play in the 3rd quarter. It's Washington State up by 7, but the Vandals with the momentum. Greg Robertson, a quarterback for the Vandals. They'll have it on their own 49. Mike Moody is the lone running back for Idaho as they go 3 wide receivers. And again, the motion. That's Lacey, the motion man. Short drop going up top, one-on-one. It's Rossi makes the catch. Rossi Martin beats Lamont Thompson. Touchdown, Idaho.
Rossi Martin, coming off of a huge game last week against Auburn, has over 100 yards receiving and a couple of touchdowns in that football game. And here he has a battle with Lamont Thompson that he wins. Just flat out, both of them were right there to go get that football. Lamont Thompson has a little tougher play because he's on the inside looking back. But Rossi gets that football. Lamont Thompson goes down, and the Vandals have tied this up.
Flags as the ball went through the upright. Let's hold on. Not often that you see Lamont Thompson lose a battle for the football that way. He has 11 interceptions in his Cougar career.
Officials determining whether or not this is going to be re-kicked.
Penalty against Washington State, so count the extra point.
On the defense is declined.
That is good. Again, an illegal substitution that's declined, but great call by Phil Early. Getting a position where he's just got man-to-man out there with Lamont Thompson. Lamont goes up for the ball. It's tipped. Rossi is in position. He's got his feet underneath him to make the play, and Lamont goes down. Martin goes in. So all of a sudden, very much like we thought at the beginning of this football game, we've got a heck of a football game going on. And Idaho definitely has the momentum on their side this second half, all because of a great play by Tosi to knock the football loose. Big turn of events at that point where the Cougars are threatening, and then it's been bang, bang, the Idaho Vandals right back in this one.
We are tied at 14. Paul Menke warming up on the Cougar sideline. Don't know if we're going to see him play quarterback or not. Birnbaum having some pads adjusted on the sidelines. I don't know if he's going to try to come back, so we'll find out. The Vandal fans making a lot of noise, and there are a lot of them here. Cougs need to answer. Again, Menke will throw occasionally out of either the backfield or a wide receiver formation. Again, that short kick up into the wind, and it's going to be Newman. Little seam and out near the 30-yard line. And the mystery will be who comes out at quarterback for Washington State. Early thoughts, Mr. Casper?
Well, it looks like it's Gesser. Menke's moving his way back into the pack of the wide receiver core, and it looks like Gesser is going to be coming out. A little better football position, and again, you got to go to your offensive line now and say, hey guys, we got to run the football here. We got to make something happen. Give us some seams. Give me some time to deliver that football. And I'd also love to see Jason Gesser, if he has to, on third long type of situations, to operate out of the shotgun. I think it's more effective because of his stature.
Hand off to Burnett, has some running room. Dion busts it for a first down. Nofuinga makes the stop, but Dion Burnett, his first big game as a Cougar.
I think that's what you got to do. You got to spread out the linebackers, spread out the entire front line, give Dion just a little sliver, because he's very adept at snaking through, getting through the daylight, get through that first wave, and hopefully you catch these linebackers in a stunt that springs.
Gain of a dozen for Burnett. Gesser rolling. Can't find a receiver. He's going to have to run it. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Is his size a problem?
Well, yeah. The facts are that you've got Reed Raymond, his brother Ryan. They're 6'6". They're a full 8 inches taller than him, you know, at times. But as he's rolling out, he's crouching down, sprinting, and it's difficult. You got on the other side of the football, guys like Tosi that are also 6'6". It's just difficult. You can't see over those guys.
Dion Burnett, little running room. First down, Burnett into Idaho territory.
Dion Burnett, number 20. Number 18,
No better way to take the wind out of the opponent's sails by just running the ball down their throat. 10, 8, 12 yards at a pop. And what I've seen so far is the Cougar offensive linemen can create the holes, but they need to spread the defense out by having the 4-5 wide receiver package in. I guess you're not going to have the 5 wide receiver package in, but spread them out, give them a seam.
Got 14 on that one, got a false start. Joe Kershone, nope. Reed Raymond jumped up on that one.
And on the other hand, the other side of the coin, if you want to kill the momentum, you get offsides. You jump too early, get false starts. You just can't have that.
Disconcerting signal, defense, 5 yards.
There's an interesting little swing. They're getting the Idaho Vandals for making disconcerting signals on the front defensive line in their calls, and their Jasek is complaining that say, hey, we've got to be able to call our side of the ball also, and Chris Tormey doesn't like that one at all.
Move it down to the 39, so instead of a 1st and 15, it'll be a 1st and 5 for Washington State.
Again, there's 2 linebackers in the game now. Spread them out, run between.
On count, yes, they're going to throw. Going to go deep for Hackett, and it's incomplete. No chance really to complete that one. Good coverage by the safety Bryson Gardner.
Trying to get the Idaho defensive secondary to come up, find something to get behind them, and the Cougars had one shot on the broken play on the scramble by Birnbaum, but they're, again, very good coverage in the secondary that time by Gardner. Not able to get behind him. 2nd and 5, though, and 3 wide receivers in the back in the game with Fieldar in the backfield.
They're going to give it to Jeremy, and he breaks a tackle and is going to be pretty close to the first down, but I think it's coming back. Tough to block Big Mal Tosi, and he was held. Well, Washington State averaging 93.5 yards of penalties a game, and they're now above that figure.
Just fighting themselves. and making it more and more difficult to get back a lead. But they are
Feeling successful, spot the foul, 10 yards.
going to be looking now at about 2nd down and 13 from the spot of that foul where they were at 1st and 5. It's too sloppy to get anything going.
Tied at 14. Mike Price had a 14-point lead. Now concerned. 5 wide out set for the Cougs.
Idaho a little confused. They're moving their secondary around quite a bit.
Gesser pressured, gets it away to Hackett. Makes the catch, can't elude the tackle, however. Nice job by Ricky Giampetri.
He's going to get a great spot, though. Although it's not enough for a first down. Excellent tackle that time. If he doesn't make that tackle very much like had been done earlier, where Leifert Hackett has been able to pick up some first downs. Gets that ball, and that's a good, solid job by Giampetri.
Played for his dad at Central Valley High School in Spokane. They won the state championship a couple years back. Tyreek Clough, a good running back on that team, redshirting as a freshman at Idaho this year. Will Beck, nose tackle, was on that team as well. Gesser rolling, guns it, incomplete. Mike Jones almost picked that off, freshman out of Lewiston.
Trying to get the screen coming late, and he floated that ball, didn't get anything on it, not able to convert. Actually had a pretty good opportunity to get that over the top and pick up the first down, but good play by Idaho, reacting to a pretty poorly thrown football.
Was Mautosi. I thought it was 99, but it was 98. Again, Anderson tries to hang it high, and this is a wobbly kick that'll be fair caught by Bernard at the 18-yard line. So the Cougars unable to pick up the big first down when they needed it. 4:04 left to play, 3rd quarter. We're tied at 14. Major League Baseball coming your way on Fox Sports Net Northwest Tuesday night. The Mariners. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Mariners warm-up. Lou Piniella will be by. Featured Mariner players will be heard from, and we'll see what's happening around the major leagues in the pennant and wild card chases. Final homestand of the year at Safeco Field, the M's and the Royals. Tuesday, coverage begins at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net Northwest.
Again, enjoying a wonderful afternoon in the battle for the Palouse. This time of the year is about as good as it gets.
Phil Early talking with Greg Robertson, thrust into the quarterback role after Ed Dean, for the 2nd consecutive year, knocked out of the game.
Both of our starting quarterbacks are sitting right now, although I do see Steve Birnbaum now loosening up, kind of running and jogging up and down the sidelines, and going to throw the ball around a little bit now, so perhaps that pain and agony that he's gone through has been relieved.
There you see the numbers on the guys who are no longer in the game right now. Each team has turned it over once. Vandals scoring their first touchdown on the Birnbaum fumble.
Like you said, Birnbaum starting to shake it off, getting his head cleared is probably the biggest aspect of things, and we may see him again.
Moody in the backfield behind Robertson for the Vandals. First down on the 18-yard line. Play fake. Robertson going to throw. Wants to go deep. Throws it up for grabs. Lamont Thompson is there, and this time he wins the battle. 12th career interception for Lamont Thompson. 2 away from the Washington State Cougar record.
Interception by number 19, Lamont Thompson.
Well, this time Lamont has much better position than does Jones. The rollout, stop, and throw back against the wind. This ball just dies as Rob Meyer plasters Robertson, but this ball is all Lamont Thompson's. There was no way he was going to let another one get through his fingers, and he goes up strong, high, gets that ball at the highest position he can, and wraps it up.
Gesser will remain at quarterback for Washington State as Thompson wins that battle. 2nd interception of the year for Lamont. Burnett at running back. He'll get it. Try to bounce it outside. Does. Nice open field tackle that time by Mr. Nofuinga, who's had a big game. Chris Nofuinga out of Mount Tahoma High School in Tacoma.
That's a great play, Nofo.
Gain of 4 for Dion.
There's Nofo.
Chicken.
Great kid. He's had a tough upbringing, living up in that hilltop area of Tacoma as he's growing up, and bounced around a little bit, but he's found a home in Idaho and turning his lifestyle around single-handedly.
Out of the shotgun, Gesser, play fake, rolls, gets a block, has time, guns it. Far one for Betty to catch. That play right there, I think, really exemplifies the best use of Jason Gesser.
Well, first of all, it's set up by the success of the running game. The play action, just enough to keep those linebackers in the middle of the field. Little misdirection, get Gesser out here, and he just kind of slings it across his body sidearm, and Farwan makes a nice catch of that football. Not an easy catch, running full speed across the field like that. Nice execution that time, and you're right. You get Jason moving around in that Cade McNown type of shotgun offense, I think you can be very successful.
Adam Hawkins going to carry it and go nowhere. Vandals ready for that one outside. Hawkins out of Pendleton, Oregon. Nothing doing on that first down carry.
Vandals played that one nicely. Hawkins had both hands wrapped around that football. I think his main goal was just to hold on to that. He didn't care if he got a yard or what have you. Paul Menke in the game along with Williams, Marcus Williams. 5 wide receiver package.
Haven't heard much from Williams since he caught 3 balls on those first 2 drives.
Cougars a little slow coming out of the huddle with only 10 left as they get to the line of scrimmage.
5 left on the play clock. Gesser. I think Cougars are in the wrong formation. Gesser, the quick toss out. Yep. They were not on the right page of the playbook at all that time.
And you could tell just by the way that they lined up in the huddle. There were guys running around to different places in the huddle trying to get the play in, and Mike's not happy at all about that.
What's the problem there usually?
Well,
is
you
it
just
the
got
quarterback missing the signal, or
you've got, you know, a number of new people, Menke, Williams, these guys coming in here. They don't have 3 or 4 years of experience like the Fab 5 did a couple of years ago, where those guys had done it so many times. You know, there's just new people, new positions, and trying to get them comfortable with what they're supposed to be doing.
Gesser needs a 3rd completion to keep this drive alive. It's 3rd and 11. They empty the backfield. Quick toss. In and out of the hands of Leifert Hackett again, looking upfield, trying to run with it before he caught it. So now a guy who has struggled really the last year and a half, Ryan Lindell, will come on, and he will be trying a 48-yard field goal attempt.
Well, Leifert Hackett, like we talked about earlier, has been the guy to get it done. Gesser's just going to pop this ball out there and just got to execute, make plays like we talked about earlier, and those are the misfires that, you know, you can't coach enough during the week. Guys just have to make the play on Saturday.
Wind at the back of Lindell. Anderson the hold. He's got plenty of distance, and he got it. Ryan Lindell busts it through from 48. And Washington State regains the lead, 17-14 over the Idaho Vandals. 2:07 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Stick around, we got a good one between the Cougs and the Vandals. Cougar football on Fox Sports Net Northwest.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the program.
Washington State with a 3-point advantage as we start the 4th quarter on a beautiful afternoon for football in the Palouse. 3rd and 1 for the Vandals. They need about a half a yard is all. Tanner's been the workhorse. Give it to Tenner, and he's got the first down. Lamont Thompson, Billy Newman come up to ride him out of bounds. Interesting that they decided to go outside that time, Lee.
Well, I don't think they did decide to go outside. That Kangaika had got such pressure going right up the middle of the football field that, again, Tenner's just reacting to what he can do. You see the handoff designed, I think, to just go right over the left tackle. Nothing there as Kangaika forces him outside, and there's a little bit of room. He picks it up. So, again, just the Lombardi style of running to daylight. He's got the foot speed to get out there. Big first down pickup, though, for the Vandals.
Michael Moody will get the carry, and he breaks one tackle and then gets ridden down. Curtis Holden on the stop. Gain of about 3, maybe 4 on that first down play.
Curtis Holden, number 1. Picked up 4 yards.
Cougs with a 3-point advantage. Statistically, things pretty close in terms of total yards. Vandals with the slight advantage right now. Turnovers have been a big key in this game, Cleve.
Yeah, and like they have been all year, the Cougar defense now has been on the field for a lot of this football game, in particular this second half.
2nd and 6 for Robertson and the Vandals. Ed Dean knocked out earlier. Cougs come with a blitz. Robertson up top, has a man open. Too tall for Rossi Martin. He had a step.
Well, they executed it to perfection, did the Vandals, as the Cougars come up with the free safety blitz, just absolute selling out man-to-man all the way, and Lamont Thompson is beaten over here on the corner. You see Robertson have to get that ball away, but they had picked up the blitz, giving him just enough time to get downfield and just overthrown. The might have just been enough wind in the air to get that one over the top.
Vandals have not been great on 3rd down. It's 3rd down and a long 5. They empty the backfield. Cougars show blitz. Here they come. Robertson has time, has a receiver, has running room. Rossi Martin, touchdown, Idaho. Takes the lead for the first time today.
Well, we've talked about it a lot today, the shotgun, and how that gives the quarterback a tremendous advantage when he's having to read the defense prior to the snap and then react to it. And that time out of the shotgun, Robertson just had enough time. Cougars coming with the blitz with Riley, the strong safety. Perfect play call and perfect execution. And now the Vandals go on top by 4. We've got us a heck of a football game like we thought we would, but excellent execution out of the shotgun. Grits it, a little bit of a high snap, but he's back there already, his head turned around, and he can find Rossi Martin on the combination route, just able to get underneath on the slant route and take it to the house.
That combination, Robertson and Martin, back-to-back touchdowns for the Vandals.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the program.
See if Anthony Tenor becomes more important, bigger tool for this Vandal offense now that they have the lead in the 4th quarter. They'll give it to him on 1st down. He has an escort out front, Cleve Iono, and Billy Newman does a wonderful job of taking on Iono on the block and still making the stop.
Again, Tenor showing me some excellent speed, excellent footwork there as he's just kind of stringing this one along, waiting for the opportunity to turn upfield. But like you said, great job by Billy Newman taking on a guy that weighs him, outweighs him by 100 pounds and making a tackle.
2nd and 8 now from the 41. 12.5 minutes to go in the football game. Bounce it outside, other side, running room into the Cougar territory. 1st down, Idaho. Last time Idaho defeated Washington State was 1965.
Coach Joba trying to get his defense, make a big play, much like Idaho Vandals defense made the big play. Get a turnover, force the ball to come loose.
Vandals nearing the 400-yard mark, up to 375 yards total offense. Believe it or not, more than Stanford gained against Washington State last week when they had 54 points. Michael Moody bounces it outside. And he uses a great second effort to get close to a 1st down. Going to be a 9-yard 1st down gain for the Vandals.
And now we got flags over on the sidelines as the Cougar defensive frustration starts to show itself. And right there on the sidelines, I'm not sure who that's going to go, but I got a pretty good idea.
Again, there is a flag on the play.
are slow getting off the pile, throwing the knees and the elbows. Moody's trying to get up off the football.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense, first down.
So the Vandals will get the first down and then tack on yardage after the penalty, and they're going to be in great shape to add to this 4-point lead. But Mike Price's Cougars not very disciplined.
You really like, from a Vandal perspective, what they're doing here is they found something that works. They're handing that ball off deep and then getting to the corner, and the Cougar linebackers have to come up and support a little bit more from the outside. It looks like they're getting drawn inside. The new kid out there, Simmons, and Grady Emerson are coming up inside a little bit too strong. Got to stay home.
Vandals go 2 back. First time today we've seen that. Now they'll send Monaco in motion. Delay handoff to Moody. Bounces it outside. Fumbles the football. Who's got it? Moody might have fallen back on it, and that's what the officials will say.
Big opportunity missed there. You know, it was Roberg, the big tight end, who happened to be hustling, following the play, and got the bounce. That was a big bounce for the Idaho Vandals. Even tougher bounce for the Cougars. You see, again, nice first down play. Getting upfield with the ball, stripped loose, right underneath his feet, and then it comes up. You see Roberg going right in there and getting down on it. The entire pile had just kind of driven past the football, and the eggs lay in there. Roberg got an Easter egg present.
So the Vandals get a 5-yard gain and hang on to the football. Anthony Tenner back. Cougar defense needs to make a stop. Play fake. Robertson pumps into the end zone. Incomplete. Short-armed it.
Lucky he did. If he tries to force that one in and throws a pass that's chest high, it's going to be picked off by Torrey Holloman. And that was one that, again, a young kid who maybe hasn't had that much game time experience. He's done a great job so far this afternoon, but tuck that one down and get what you can.
There are the numbers on Robertson. A couple of touchdowns, 1 pick.
Well, this is really important for them because they very much like to get points. 3 points is pretty big in this overall situation.
A little confusion for the Cougars defensively right here. Play fake to Tenner. Robertson rolls, throws, has the first down. Torrey Holloman closed in a hurry on Monaco, but it's enough to keep the drive alive.
Move in the pocket, still early. Sensing that the Cougars are going to come with pressure. Move the pocket, force the corner, pick up the first down. Good selection by Coach Tormey and his staff there to pick up the first down.
Vandals with a first down at the Cougar 13. 10:20 to go in the football game. It's Anthony Tenner time. He'll try the first down carry. Can he bounce it out? Using that speed to get a yard or two out of something that wasn't there.
Nope, he's got a great feel for this offense and ducks it inside. If he feels the pressure, then he has that quickness like we talked about, the vision also to bounce it outside and head to that sideline.
Tenner, 92 yards as they've started the season with a trio, Tenner, Alderson, and Moody, trying to replace Joel Thomas, who was a heck of a running back for the Vandals. Tenner's the guy who's really produced today. Second down and 10 after no gain on that first down play. Tenner again. Gets a block this time. Running room, Tenner! Touchdown, Idaho, but we got a flag. It might come back. Might be a hold against the Vandals. I think it is on the outside. Virgil Williams, the cornerback, was being held. Ethan Jones, I believe, the guilty party.
Tenner thought he had it, but it's coming back, and that's a huge flag right there. It'll force second down and 20 instead of 6 points.
See how big of a factor that becomes.
Well, it's hard to detect from this angle. You see the little counter action, a step here. Good block there by Strombaugh, but he's got Kungaika wrestled up right there at the line of scrimmage, so that'll bring it 10 yards back from there. And not a full-on tackle because he let him go, but the official saw it just enough to call it back.
Again, there's that late substitution by Idaho. Townsley, the motion man. Robertson rolls, throws it wide open. Touchdown, Idaho. Are celebrating in their new home. They've not defeated Washington State since 1965, but they have a 10-point lead with 9:52 to go and an extra point to come.
Kicking in to their crowd that's on their feet and enjoying the spirited comeback by the Idaho Vandals. Another example of misdirection. Billy Newman's coming from the backside and gets there too late. Moody does a great job of faking the block on Newman and then sails into the end zone.
Vandals by 11, 9:52 to go. Cougar football on Fox Sports Net Northwest. The Vandals play into the crowd. In Pullman, Chris Tormey trying to get his first ever win as a player or a coach. The head coach, that is, against Washington State. Was on the Don James staff at the UW for a while. Had some victories there. Robertson, 3 touchdown passes in relief of Ed Dean. He's been the hero of this game for Idaho. Davis to kick it off with the wind at his back. He'll drive it deep. Cougars will have no chance for a return. Washington State, which has not shown a propensity to be able to score quickly, needs to do so, Clete.
Well, if I'm offensive coordinator right now, I think I'm going to try to either move Jason Gesser around, give him some time to get outside of that pocket, or put him in the shotgun because they need to make something happen. And in fact, he may not be the guy. Birnbaum may be coming back in after having to wait for a quarter to shake off that play where the fumble occurred for the touchdown.
The Cougs trying to mix the Vandals up. Gesser had the helmet on. He was in front of the huddle for a second, and then Birnbaum stepped in at the last minute. Burnett in the backfield. There are the numbers on Birnbaum before he went out. Give it to Burnett, and nothing there. So the Cougars had been able to run decently against the Vandals, but that time Idaho stuffs it. J.J. Johnston out of Kirkland in on the stop, along with Matt Jasek.
Well, the Vandals playing with a lot of emotion right now.
First, 2nd and 10 now.
Offense is able to stoke the crowd, and that stokes the defense.
Time a factor, 9:20 left in the football game. Vandals by 11, 28-17. Birnbaum. Nyan Taylor that time hangs on to the football, and boy, I'll tell you what, Cleveland Bradshaw took a huge chance, because if Taylor somehow keeps his balance, he's got a chance to take that all the way.
Well, for a guy that's been down and out for a quarter, Birnbaum comes back and delivers this football absolutely where it has to be. You see that Bradshaw's draped all over the back of Nyan Taylor, and Nyan makes a good play there. So, like we talked about, individuals have to make some plays. Nyan Taylor does there.
First down at the 35 for the Cougars. Bernie up top, trying to get it to Taylor. He adjusts, comes back, can't make the catch. Fans wanted interference, but it wasn't. Taylor was trying to come back, and Bryson Gardner just doing a nice job defensively. Had he put his hand up in Taylor's face, then you'd have call for a penalty.
Well, it actually was a pretty good effort by Taylor actually to just play defense because he was behind, having to come over the top. No penalty there, no real collision, just need to get that ball out there a little harder against this wind. Birnbaum was 2nd and 10.
Burnett still in the backfield, 4 wideouts, no tight end. Here's Bernie. The toss, his receiver fell down. It's incomplete. Boy, Taylor got a hand on it, kept it alive, and Dennis Gibbs almost had a chance to pick that and take it home. So now it comes down to a 3rd and 10 for Washington State.
Well, at this point, even though there's 8:40 left on the clock, I think you've got to be thinking that you need to continue this drive. It's almost a 2-play situation. Ryan Taylor just loses the footing and can't make the play.
Cougs will go 5 wide receiver set. See if they can keep this drive alive. Otherwise, there'll be another punt. Pressure, Birnbaum gets rid of it. It's incomplete. The pressure forced him to throw it off the wrong foot.
Cougars now have a decision to make. The punt team is moving onto the field, but Mike Price, I think, is going to pull him back. Now sends him out, so he's going to go ahead and punt it away, figuring that he's going to get 2 more chances to close the gap. 11-point lead, that's 2 touchdowns that he's going to need, or a touchdown, an extra point for 2, and then a field goal, so he needs 2 scores to get it done.
Kareem Anderson to kick it away. Vern Bernard, the return man for the Vandals. Kareem with a wobbly kick off the side of his foot, not a very good one. It'll go out of bounds. Vandals will have pretty good field position. Idaho will have the football and the lead with 8:28 to go in the football game in Martin Stadium. You're watching Cougar football on Fox Sports Net Northwest.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the program.
You can see the Idaho Vandals have owned the second half of this football game. 14 in the third, 14 in the fourth to grab a 28-17 lead. Cougars started on their own 1, moved it out, had a big offensive pass interference penalty, so now they face a 2nd and 21 on their own 36. Gesser throws it to a receiver who falls down. Whoa, we've seen that a lot.
Well, and seen it a lot out of a number of different people. Not like they haven't been on this turf, and not like they haven't had beautiful weather to play in today, so it's not blamed on any precipitation or anything. Mike Price, huge headache going right now. Trying to come up with something that works. A big drop-off from a pretty well-played first quarter for the Cougars.
Cougars have 2 plays to gain 21 yards. Gesser sets up a screen over the middle. Zubetti can't hang on to it. Dennis Gibbs, the defender, and now it's down to 1 play for Washington State.
Farwan Zubetti, the intended receiver, broken up by Dennis Gibbs, number 22.
Farwan Zubetti had his hands on it, but then pretty well-timed tackle. Defender closed on it nicely, and one of the things I guess Jason needs to work on is that ball across the middle has got to be delivered quickly. You can't float them over there, and just gives those defensive backs too much time to react to that ball being in the air.
Interesting that instead of going to the wide receiver set, Corey Scott, a tight end, comes in, perhaps to try to block a little bit better. They're not going to get this play off. Now Gesser calls timeout with 1 second left on the play clock. So things not efficient in terms of getting the play call in. Cougs use their 2nd timeout. Inside of 3 minutes to go, the Vandals on the verge of the victory. 28-17 Idaho, the story, with 2:59 left in the football game. Cougs on a 4th and 21. If they have any hope of winning this football game, they have to convert right here. Here comes the pressure. Gesser eludes 1 man and then runs right back into him. Vandal football on the Cougar 25.
Well, a tough situation for Jason Gesser. Out of the shotgun, gets the snap. He's looking downfield trying to find something, but his eyes go down when he feels the pressure from Rice on the outside. Then he jumps right back into him. So that's pretty indicative of how things have gone for the Cougars in this second half. Jason Gesser off to the side, and frustrated as is that man.
Vandals will just run the football. They've got 8 tight ends. Well, not really. Penner takes it outside. Does his job. He falls down inside. Does not want to go anywhere near that sideline marker.
Well, Chris Tormey and his staff felt they had a good shot at this football game, even though they were without their #1 quarterback. And if you were asking if his #3 quarterback would have got the job done against a Pac-10 foe, he probably would have winced and said, I hope so. And But Robertson has done a great job coming in, filling in for Ed Dean, who had to go out with bad ankle and performed well, as does that man.
Little running room. 100-yard day for Anthony Tenner. Gleason wraps him up. Vandals will have next week off, and Washington State will have a very difficult time ending this losing streak. They'll take on the Pac-10 favorites, the Arizona Wildcats.
17-yard line.
Nope. Right back into the Pac-10 action against the foe that gave them all sorts of trouble down in Tucson last year. Full of all sorts of offensive weapons and defense, offense, special teams, all quality for the Arizona Wildcats. Cougars will have to prepare hard, turn this thing around.
Tenner trying to keep this drive alive and didn't get there. He went out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. I'm sure the Vandals will just go ahead and run another play, though, on 4th down.
Curtis Holmes made the tackle. Gain of 1 yard for flag.
Earned himself the ability to get the starting nod next week, I would assume. Actually, they've got a bye, so mend some bumps and bruises before they take on Wyoming.
Down to a minute 24 left in this football game. Tenner has the first down. That's going to slow things up. The Idaho Vandal fans realize that they're on their feet. Most of the Cougar fans have left.
First down for Idaho.
So Idaho avoids being the bookend of the Cougar losing streak.
Anthony Tenner now 114 yards for this game.
A lot of talk, Cleat, about what a win for Idaho would do in terms of recruiting, because they do go after many of the same players Washington State does.
Well, anytime that you have these two schools competing, there's a lot of pride on the line just from the standpoint that they're next door to each other. A lot of friendships on these teams, but the Idaho Vandals are going to come out of here with a win. Mike Price is squinting into the future, trying to determine how he gets these players back on the winning track there on the Big Schneid.
Vandals are not going to pull a Baylor. They will not hand the football off and give up a touchdown like Baylor did to UNLV. What an incredible finish to that football game a week ago. That'll be the final snap. So Idaho, for the first time since 1965, knocks off the Washington State Cougars. The Vandals are now 2-1. Washington State falls to 0-3. Chris Tormey with his 28th win as the head coach of the Idaho Vandals. And Mike Price's club continues to search for answers. Some big plays in this football game, probably none bigger than the Magnolia moment. The first score of this football game for the Idaho Vandals. Steve Birnbaum back to pass for Washington State. Mao Tosi with the big hit. The football comes loose. Chris Nofuinga picks it up. 66 yards for the touchdown. That got the Vandals on the board. They outscored Washington State 28-3 in the second half of this football game to defeat Washington State 28-17. Well, for Cleet Casper and the rest of the Fox Sports Net Northwest crew, I'm Bud Namick saying so long from Martin Stadium. The Vandals win it 28-17. Next action, the Cougs and the Arizona Wildcats. You'll see it 1:30 next Sunday right here on Fox Sports Net Northwest. Stay tuned. Coming up next, more Northwest College football. Air Force visits the University of Washington. So long from Martin Stadium.